Hey artists, welcome back again. This time I'm going to be working on some of the details of the sculpture, and I'm building some details in the back, and this time I'm keeping in mind I'm going to be doing a waist mold of this, so I'm going to try and make it easier on myself and not have any like negative shapes in here. I'm also working pretty fast and trying to build a little bit more mass to the shape of the head. She's got very high cheekbones, so it's kind of important to build very large zygomatic arches. Females are definitely much harder to sculpt because their faces and bodies are a lot more subtle, but there are a lot of bony landmarks that come to the face that you have to look for. This is the spine of the scapula and the medial portion of the scapula. I'm definitely going to try and bring those a little bit to be a little bit bonier than what the model has. As my studio light changes, you can see the dramatic light that comes in at various points of the day. There's a lot of subtle details in between the eyes, and you have to use very small tools, especially if you're working with a small head like this. The smaller the head, the smaller the tools get. It's actually easier to work life-size because the tools are easier to sculpt the various features of the head, and you don't have to work with very tiny tools, and small tools requires very steady hands. These small scraping tools that I'm using now, I built myself out of brass tubes, and you can do that too. They're basically just guitar strings, and guitar strings are very like malleable. So you can make loop tools, you can make like triangles, square tools, and they're extremely good for doing detail. You know, once I have the shape of the head, all the anatomical features put together, I can concentrate a little bit more on various parts of the figure because, for example, the ear or the nose or the eyes, but I don't concentrate on them for very long. I just kind of move back and forth very, very fast. And in a way, I'm just doing this and showing you tools because I am trying to keep the camera on one point of view. So what I have here is acetone or paint thinner. Paint thinner will also work, but I'm using acetone. And I dip a bristle brush in here, and then I use it to shape the clay, and it smooths things out. And the point is not to smooth it out, it's just to kind of make it softer so I can use another tool on top. And also a brush, when you're using it with acetone or thinner, you can squeeze it inside the eye, for example, or in the corner of the eye where tools are hard to get in there. So in the forehead, like here, I'm just softening things out so I can go in with these tools, the metal tools, and really work my way and try to create a little bit better details. One of the things I like is that I like to finish the eyes and the nose and the lips, the things that I really want to concentrate on. I like to give them a better finish, and everything else, like outwards, expanding out, I like to leave a little bit rougher, like the chest, like the hair, even the shoulders. Like I like to show the marks on the shoulders. So oftentimes I'll leave things unfinished as they progress outward from the face. So at this point you can start to scrub out using a cloth. I find that this really works much better in water-based clay rather than the oil plasticine that I'm using. The hair is braided, so it's very difficult to do, and there's a lot that goes into sculpting hair, and hair is extremely hard to sculpt. But this is probably going to take me a lot of time to do. And it's nice that I have the scraping tools because you can see the direction of the hair. So when I put in the clay and the direction that I want it to go, I'll take the scraping tool and kind of scrape where the hair is going to be going. I also have very small scraping tools made out of guitar wire that I really like for doing smaller details. But some of these that create those strides in there are kind of nice to show a direction. And a lot of times as I finish the sculpture, I'll start to really think more about where the hair start and where they end. And it's very important here to show where the zygomatic bone is. So she's got very big or very high cheekbones. So it's very important to kind of cave in that side of the cheek just a little bit. And I think I have it just a little bit too much. But as you can see, some of the tools that I use are a lot of the scraping tools. And I know it might seem a little bit odd because a lot of the anatomy is gone, and maybe in the future I'll do a video on adding the muscles of the face. There's many muscles, and I really recommend people to pick up anatomy books and try to understand what's underneath. For a sculptor, it's a lot more important to learn anatomy than a painter. A painter, and I see this often, is like you concentrate on almost like a surface sort of polish without understanding what's underneath, and that's okay because a lot of painters go after like light effects, and maybe it's my very myopic way of looking at it, but that's what I see. And I think for sculptors, you can't get away from bad anatomy. So I'm constantly like trying to learn anatomy. And with portraits, it's always nice because you can concentrate on little things. You know, you can concentrate on the nose, the anatomy of the nose, of the eye. You can concentrate on just the face, the cheeks. You can do skulls. And that adds a lot of knowledge to your sculptures. And you can tell the sculptors that have knowledge of anatomy and the ones that don't. And the ones that do are the very good sculptors, and hopefully I'll be one of those one day. Alright guys, this is part 2. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.